Oh, this is Mr. Hornsby 83. This is the Mr. Hornsby 83 show, and unfortunately, this year we didn't get no freaking New Year's stuff, so I don't have a 2026 hat or any of that stuff. But it is 2026. It is a new year. I'm back for break. If you saw my short earlier, I did a video showing that I went back to the gym after taking a break. Oh, it's kind of a mini break because I took most of October off. Then I went back in November once a week doing cardio, except for last week I was doing biceps and back with Gene. So, yeah. But I'm here today to talk about my 2026 predictions. And, as of right now, there's no news on it, but my first predictions got to do with my Indianapolis Colts. And I swear to God, if it's true that they are going to keep freaking Chris Ballard for another year, I'm going to be done with my Colts for this year. Because, how do you start out 7-1 and then you go 1-7 at the end of the year? Only my Indianapolis Colts. But you know what? Could be worse. I could be saying, who they think gonna beat the Bengals? The Cleveland Browns did. Anyway, so my first prediction for 2026 is Carly Ursay Gordon will get some damn sense in her damn head and fire Chris Ballard's sorry GM ass. Not only that, I pounded the table for this guy against Colts Nation. I pounded the table for this guy, especially the past couple years, with him getting 8 sacks and 8.5. But this year, this guy only got 4 sacks. So I'm going to say, we're going to let Kwity Paye walk. We're going to let Kwity Paye walk. We're going to let Tyquan Lewis walk. We are going to let Samson Ebukam, which I said, you know what, watch him come back and him not be as good as he was when he was healthy for us. Was it 2023 he was healthy for us? I said, watch him not be as healthy or as good as he was in 2023 for us. Everybody has one good year. No matter how bad you are, you eventually have one good year. But, gee whiz, it's like if you're like playing a video game and you're terrible at it, and you get, excuse me for burping, you're terrible at it, and you turn around, and you get one win in it. Well, I should say that's the case for the Cleveland Browns. They were terrible this year, and they got their win. Also, Myles Garrett. Oh, God. Screwing things up. Also, Myles Garrett got the sack record. Big whoop. Cleveland still sucks. But, at least the Bengals lost. And they're stupidly keeping Zach Taylor, but I'll talk about that in a little bit. Anyway, yeah. Also, let's let some bums like frickin' Zaire Franklin go. Let's get rid of everybody. The only people we should re-sign is Alec Pierce and Nick Cross. All the free agents we got this year, you gotta sign Alec Pierce and you gotta sign Nick Cross because Alec Pierce has developed into what I'm gonna say is our now number 1 receiver. He's way better than Pittman. He doesn't drop the damn ball. He doesn't worry about his damn Madden rating. I'm never gonna forgive Pittman for that nonsense. A couple years ago, on YouTube, whining about his rating on Madden. Who cares? Care about winning games for the Indianapolis Colts. Don't give a damn about what you're rated in Madden. Honestly. What is your rating being higher in Madden gonna do for you? Absolutely nothing. Is it going to get you a Super Bowl? Hell no. Is it going to get you a freaking better contract? Hell no. So quit worrying about your stupid Madden rating. Anyway, back to what I was saying. Alec Pierce has become our number one receiver. He's developed a lot this year. He's a lot better than he was last year. So Alec Pierce needs to be re-signed. Nick Cross also needs to be re-signed. Do not let these guys out the door. You can let Kwity Paye out the door. You can let Tyquan Lewis out the door. You can let Samson Ebukam out the door. You can let Zaire Franklin out the door. But don't let Nick Cross and or Alec Pierce out the door. Also re-sign Daniel Jones. Seems like Daniel Jones was really good in this system this year until he got injured. Which, you know, I'm going to put that a little bit on the coaching in that because they knew he was injured going into what week it was that he got injured real bad. And they still trotted him out there and made him play. So, yeah. My Indianapolis Colts, I predicted are going to clean house this year. I highly doubt it. I already know this prediction is not going to come true because somehow or another, Chris Ballard is going to find a way to keep his damn job. And I think it's stupid. But anyway. So be prepared to be bad again next year. Be prepared to start 7-1 again and totally crumble, or be prepared to start 0-2 again. Either way, it's not good. Be prepared to have a chance to be in the playoffs, and then you just ruin it. Because that's what's going to happen. So, yeah. That's my first prediction. That my Colts should clean house. And like I said, I found it on the table for Kwity Paye, but godly was he god-awful this year. Now, I could say, well, maybe it's because of Lou Anarumo system, but you know what? That's still. He was average at best the last 2 years. Just like I said about Dio Digbo last year, when I said, let that guy go. Let Kwity Paye go, because, yeah, he improved each and every year he freaking played for us. He went from 4.5 sacks to 6 sacks to 8.5 to 8, and then right back to 4. You know who did blossom this year? I don't know how many sacks he does. I hope he got at least 1 sack yesterday. Laiatu Latu blossomed. My only problem with Laiatu Latu is, you know, he's going to get praised for him getting 8.5 sacks, but Kwity Paye, heaven forbid he get 8.5 sacks. He gets bashed by a freaking Colts Nation still. But you know what? Laiatu Latu, 8.5 this year. Everyone's going to be like, see, he's the player we knew he was going to be. He's the player we knew he was going to be. Even if he only did have 8.5 sacks. But I think he probably got a sack yesterday. Maybe 2 sacks. Maybe he had 10. I don't know. But, I don't know, maybe Kwity Paye didn't try as hard this year because, you know, no matter what he does, Colts Nation just go bashing. Gets 8 sacks the last 2 years, and Colts Nation the whole offseason spent talking about, especially Bring the Juice, especially talking about how he was just, he's not great. He's not a good pass blocker. He's not a good pass blocker. Even though he got 8 and 8.5 sacks the last 2 years. But he's not a good pass blocker. So, I don't know. Maybe those were just, you know, an anomaly. I'll say maybe, you know, his 8.5 and then his 8 the last 2 years were anomalies. Who knows? But we'll see. Now, if he goes to another team and he's got like, you know, 10 sacks or more, then I'll be like, well, there you go. We let this guy go because we freaking wanted to hate on him. Why? I don't know. But, you know, Laiatu Latu did blossom this year. He went from 4 sacks to 8.5. So that's pretty good. You have 4, what was it, 4.5 last year? And then you, like, got 4 more this year. So, yeah, maybe Latu's the guy. Maybe we get another defensive end in the draft. And if we keep Chris Ballard, I'm pretty sure 2nd round first pick we're going to pick is a freaking defensive end. I don't know what the defensive draft class looks like this year because I didn't buy Madden 26. because I bought the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection instead, which you'll see me do a playthrough of Part 2 in the arcade this freaking Friday. But, yeah, so yeah, I'm predicting Colts are going to clean house. Alright, next prediction, let's go into wrestling. One of my biggest predictions for this year for wrestling, and it's going to be in WWE. I'm starting with WWE first. I'm even going to watch Raw tonight. Believe it or not, I'm actually going to watch Raw. I doubt Braun Breaker wins the belt tonight. But my prediction is that Braun Breaker will become the World Heavyweight Champion this year. He's going to become the World Heavyweight Champion. Probably going to go on to win the WWE Championship as well. It depends on how things go. Another prediction is going to be kind of one people's going to be like, what? They're going to be scratching their head and all that. I'm predicting, if we're not going to have, Dwayne Johnson let Cody get his win back, if we're not going to have Cody and Roman again, which I hope we don't. I don't want to see Cody and Roman again. It was a breath of fresh air seeing John Cena and Cody last year, even though I hate John Cena. And if you saw, I did my best John Cena moment. Yeah, go check out that video. I did it toward the end of last year. I'm getting fever blisters all over the frickin' place. Looks like I got herpes or something. Anyway. So I'm going to predict LA Knight is going to win the WWE Championship from Cody. Because I think Cody's going to go heel. Or maybe they make LA Knight heel. But I think LA Knight's too over to make him heel. And people, I think, are getting tired of Cody's act. So I think Cody's going to go heel. This is a bold prediction because I don't think anybody predicted this yet. I think Cody goes heel. And we get LA Knight going after him and taking the WWE Championship from him. Or undisputed WWE Championship. Whatever. I'm predicting that Bianca Belair will take on Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship at WrestleMania this year. I'm predicting that Charlotte will probably get her, 15th title reign? She got like 13 or 14. I predict she gets her 15th title reign this year at some point. They're going to put her in the main event. I'm also predicting that, later on down the road of this year, I'm predicting Gunther's going to be the WWE Champion. What else? I'm also going to predict that maybe finally WWE will come to their senses and put Demolition in the Hall of Fame. They just came out with the new Elite Demolition figures. Hopefully they're in the WWE 2K20 frickin' 6 game. I really want Demolition in that game. All 3 members. I was going to predict maybe Sid gets in the Hall of Fame this year. I mean, it's going to be a weak one anyway, because Stephanie McMahon's going to be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know what she's really done to get in the Hall of Fame. I mean, yeah. She was in there. She wrestled a little bit in the Attitude Era, but you know what? She wasn't really that good. I guess they could put her in for all the other stuff, like being a manager or something like that. But, yeah. I don't know. I think she needs to be in the Hall of Fame. I think if they're putting her in the Hall of Fame, if her be for something for like manager or something. We don't need no gibberish of her wrestling skills, because her wrestling skills sucked. But yeah, I'm predicting that. Alright, let's jump over to AEW. I might do a few TNA predictions. I ain't got too many predictions for WWE, but, I gotta get a lot of other predictions in for toy stuff, for TV shows, for video games, and all that stuff. I just can't focus on wrestling. like some other YouTube channels can. Alright, my prediction for 2026 for AEW is they're going to build some momentum. And the reason why I say they're going to build some momentum is because I think Tony Khan is going to look to improve the product this year, especially with the fact that TNA is going to be on AMC. Really, to me, it's got better. It was better the past couple years, but I don't know, man. This past year, you build up this whole Mike Santana thing. He wins the title. It's a great moment. And then next thing you know, boom, he loses the freaking belt, what, a week later? Less than a week later? To Kazarian, of all people. Kazarian. Not the Moose. Not to any other top TNA star. But to Kazarian. I'll talk about TNA in a minute. But yeah. I'm predicting that Tony Khan is going to do whatever it takes to get the ratings up, get the audience back to TNA or to AEW wrestling, and I think he's going to do whatever it takes. Also predicting, which I kind of predicted toward the end of last year, one of those things came true, the other thing didn't come true yet. I predicted that MJF would once again reclaim the world title, which he did at World's End, just like I said in that video. But problem is, we didn't get the new Pinnacle yet. We're going to get the new Pinnacle, and I think we're going to get the new Pinnacle at Revolution. I think at Revolution we're going to get the new Pinnacle. I also am going to predict that AEW will announce that starting next year, that they are going to have pay-per-views for 12 months. They already practically got a bunch of pay-per-views. They went from World's End. Now we're going into the next big pay-per-view is Revolution. I think it is. But they got a big event called what is it? What is that? Grand Slam? They got Grand Slam coming up. That's a big event coming up in January. But I predict we're going to get a new Pinnacle. And you know what? I'm also predicting that MJF's new muscle for the new Pinnacle is going to be Sting Son. Sting Son made his debut in an AEW dark match. And they said he looks just like Sting. But he's going by the name of Steve Borden. He's not using his dad's character or anything like that. But I think Sting's son, first of all, they're going to give him a better gimmick once he becomes a main roster member of the AEW thing. They could also build him toward being the next big babyface in AEW for the future or something like that. But I'm predicting that Sting's son is going to be MJF's muscle. I've already predicted that the Gates of that, or the Demand, is going to join up with MJF, and they're going to be the new Pinnacle. Speaking of predictions, I am going to predict that by the end of this year, we're going to get the national title and the international title unified. It's going to be called the Undisputed International Championship, because that national championship is just so stupid looking. I mean, and I did a poll outside of the King of Rap polls I did. I did a few other polls while I was on break. I did like what was the biggest competitor? What's the biggest competitor to WWE? I said this one's a no-brainer. Everybody knows this one, but yeah, I just put it out there just to be goofy and silly. NWA/WCW, which everybody picked that one. I had ECW, TNA, and AEW on there. I'm surprised ECW didn't get a couple more votes, because ECW was a competitor to WWE. They were on WWE's trails too, but then WWE made a partnership with them, and then that was just, ECW didn't really become a competitor to WWE anymore. It was mainly WCW. But I also asked people what they thought of what the new national title looked like. I was like, do you like the new national title or do you dislike it? Dislike won the vote. I get it. They wanted to bring the tradition of the national title on a mainstream platform. It hasn't been mainstream since the old days of WCW when they first had the, national title, when it was NWA and, whatever frickin' else it was before it became Crockett Promotions and WCW and all that. But, and you know what? They took the design of the NWA TV title and made that the design of the frickin' national title. Ugh, excuse me. So, national title is probably the worst, and it don't even look as good as the TV title does. It freaking looks worse. So, I think they're going to merge that with the international title. I'm also predicting that Tony Khan's going to realize, the Continental title, it should only be a prop for when people win the Continental Classic. We don't need the Continental title defended all year around. Only when it's the Continental Classic. I'm also gonna, I'll do one more prediction for AEW, then I'll jump over to TNA, and then I'll get into toys and, TV and games and all that stuff. But I'm predicting Will Ospreay is going to beat MJF for the AEW World Championship. I'm also predicting that maybe Jeff Jarrett gets a transitional run and loses it right back to MJF. I don't know. Or loses it to Hangman or Swerve or something. I don't know. I'm also going to predict that Darby Allin, I know I said I was only going to do one more prediction. I'm going to predict Darby Allin finally gets his run with the title. Either toward the end of this year or the beginning of next year. Who's he going to beat for the title? It could be Kyle Fletcher. It could be Okada. It could be Takeshita. Who knows? But, yeah. I predict Mercedes Moné will become the women's world champion. She'll probably beat Toni Storm for it because I think eventually Toni Storm's going to get the title back. After her and Mina's tag team's done and they both want to go for singles gold again. I don't know. Maybe they have like an ugly breakup. Like what Mariah May and Toni Storm did earlier last year. Before Mariah May jumped to WWE. Well, NXT. It's still WWE. Yeah. Anyway, now for TNA. I predict we'll see AJ Styles wrestle in the TNA ring one more time before he retires this year. We're going to see AJ Styles wrestle in a TNA ring before he retires. He'll still be a part of WWE, but the partnership is going to cause him to wrestle at a TNA show. Maybe that first show on AMC. Maybe their next pay-per-view. Who knows? When is their next pay-per-view? Is it after they frickin' do the debut on AMC? I don't know. But we'll find out when he gets there. I predict Mike Santana will once again be TNA champion. Not really excited about that, but hey, he's going to be champion again. I will say. Well, I predict, and this is pretty much an easy prediction. I predict TNA is definitely going to get better ratings on frickin' AMC than they got on Access in their whole run. So yeah, I predict they're going to get better ratings. But that's pretty much a given because it's going to be on AMC. It's not going to be on Access TV. Alright, now let's get into toy stuff. I'm going to start with, of course, Mattel WWE. So, you know what? My first predictions got to do with Comic-Con. I know Comic-Con's still like 6 months away or whatever. It's just now going into the second week of freaking January. But I'm going to predict that at San Diego Comic-Con, since you know, the year before they revealed, the best reveal I thought they ever did was revealing the WCW versions of the Big Gold. And they all came out last year. And there's going to be more coming out this year because you got that new Hulk Hogan. You're going to have a Goldberg in the next Monday Night War line. And we're probably going to get another DDP somewhere down the line. After the Monday Night War Ultimate. But, yeah. So we got the reveal of the WCW version of the Big Gold. This past Comic-Con, we got the reveal of the newly tooled Winged Eagle, which next month I am going to order the Cody Rhodes off of Ringside. I'm also going to pick up the Hulk Hogan when I find it at Target, because he's coming with the Winged Eagle belt. I hope that one's a dual-plated one. I'm going to predict this year that the belt they retool is the best WWE Championship ever made. That's the big logo belt. No, I'm kidding. That is the Big Eagle. The Attitude Era belt. They're going to retool that belt. They're going to make it better. They're going to make it a little bit bigger. They're going to frickin' give it 3 side plates like it should have had. They're going to put a version with the gold WWE logo, and then they're going to put a version with the white WWE logo, and then they're going to make a blue strap one that has the blocked WWE logo. So I'm predicting the next newly tooled belt that Mattel's doing this year, they're going to reveal it. It's going to be the Attitude Era belt. Because next to the freaking Big Gold, WCW Big Gold, and next to the Winged Eagle, the third most popular championship is the Big Eagle belt, the Attitude Era belt. We're going to get a new version of it. Probably not till early next year. But we're going to get it revealed at San Diego Comic-Con. And then I don't know what they'll do next. Because, like, there's still a lot of belts that need to be redone. Still need to redo the freaking Hogan 86 belt. That belt's way too big. Cruiserweight title needs to be shrunk down a little. The WCW version. US title needs to be shrunk down a little. WCW US title needs to be shrunk down. We need the 97 to 99 WCW tag team belts. What else needs to be fixed? We need the WCW Championship 91 and 94 fixed. But, you know, this year it's going to be all about the Big Eagle. Last year it was the Winged Eagle. The year before was the Big Gold. Now we get the frickin' Attitude Era belt. My opinion, if I had it my way, that would have been first priority. Well, the WCW version of the Big Gold would have been priority 1. Priority 2 would have been the frickin' Big Eagle. But I know a lot of people love the Winged Eagle even better than the Attitude Era belt. Although I like the Attitude Era belt better. Yeah, it is what it is. But they're going to fix that belt. I also think, I don't know, Coliseum collections are done now that they got the LJN figures. But maybe they can make a Toy Biz WCW line. Like, when you make WCW characters in the main elite line, give it a Toy Biz, or just do something where it's like, you make a WCW figure, and then a main elite light or something, just give it, the Toy Biz style packaging. I think that would be great if they did that with the WCW figures, but I don't know. I think they should do that. I predict they should do that. I predict they will do that. Anyway. I'm also predicting we are going to get an Ultimate Edition Kevin Nash. And he's going to have the newly tooled version of the Wolfpack logo. Big gold belt. So I'm going to predict we're going to get that sometime this year. Also going to predict that hopefully they update the formula on Razor Ramon, because the Razor Ramon formula is terrible. Let me show you something. This is the one. It's one of the latest Ultimate Editions that came out. That's Razor Ramon. And I know they didn't fix it in the version after this because, ugh, shoot. I know they didn't fix it in the version of this before that, after this. But look how freaking small Razor Ramon looks. I mean, yeah. The traps look bigger. But the shoulders, the shoulders are kind of big. The freaking biceps are small. The chest looks small. Looks like it's got no definition to it. The triceps are small. I mean, come on now. Look at that. My nephew Gregory's got bigger triceps than that. No. My nephew Gregory worked out, so he's, in pretty good shape. Anyway. Let's see. Yeah, I think they update the formula for frickin' Razor Ramon and Scott Hall. I think they have updated the Scott Halls, but they haven't updated any of the frickin' Razor Ramon, because Razor Ramon should not be looking this frickin' scrawny. He should not be looking this scrawny. Seriously. Looks like a frickin' toothpick. Like the toothpicks he wears in his mouth when he flick at people. Excuse me. I mean, even with the Monday Night War figures, can't we, change the WCW, let's do WCW packaging for the Monday Night War figures? Or it looks like the Toy Biz figures or something like that. I doubt they'll do that. They got their standard packaging for the Monday Night War figures. But, we'll see. Let's see. Also gonna predict that we will probably get an Ultimate Edition Ultimate Warrior. You know what? He's gonna come with the blue strapped, newly tooled Winged Eagle, and the freaking white strapped, newly tooled Winged Eagle. And then after that, you can do a legend figure with the purple strap that he wore as a rib to Sergeant Slaughter, because he knew Sergeant Slaughter was going to beat him for the belt. And then you could do... I know the yellow strapped one really didn't exist, but we got to get the yellow strapped one. Come on now. Got to get the yellow strapped one. I also predict that Mattel might dip back into the well of a Zeus figure, so we might get another Zeus Elite or Ultimate or something like that this year. I think they'll dip back into that well. What else do I want to predict for WWE figures? Can't think of nothing else to predict for WWE figures. There was a few other things I want to predict, but I don't know. Oh yeah, I'm going to predict if we don't get Kevin Nash with the Wolfpack logo newly tooled, big gold belt, then we're definitely going to get a Wolfpack Hogan with that belt. Because the last two came out, I think they both were elites. They were both ringside exclusives. So I think we're going to get an Ultimate Edition of Hulk Hogan with the newly tooled big gold belt with the Wolfpack logo on it. With the Z and all. They've done it with the WWE version of the belt. They haven't done it with the WCW version of the belt yet, which I'm shocked they haven't. But maybe they're setting it up for this year. So we'll see. I'm also predicting we're going to have Macho Man back in the line by the end of next year. Or by the end of this year. By the end of this year, Macho Man will be back in the line. He should come with the freaking newly told Wing Eagle belt too. What else? I think we're finally going to get a proper... I'm going to predict that we're going to get Stone Cold Steve Austin with the new build that they put out with the Ultimate Edition last year, and then they got it coming out with that 3-pack. They kind of used it for the defining moments. They're using it with the SummerSlam wave that's all about the match from '99 where Triple H was supposed to win the title, but instead they had Mankind win it. What a big robbery that was. That was the biggest robbery I've ever seen. Outside of Montreal and WrestleMania 12. Yeah, WrestleMania 12 was a robbery. Let's see, what else? I think that's it for... So let's go into AEW. Looks like Ringside's going to use the unsanctioned line to frickin' put out TNA figures. I mean, they got that Joe Hendry. Oh, God. Anyway. Alright. So, yeah. Maybe I should have made this a live stream. Alright, 36 minutes into this video. Still got a few more things to predict, and then I'll be done. For AEW, we are going to find out the future of the AEW figure line. This year, we're going to figure out sometime this year what the future of the AEW figure line is going to be. I think that if Jazzwares are going to keep doing them, I'm going to predict we're going to get a Slapnuts Jeff Jarrett from the year 2000. He was WCW champion. Because that's one we need to get. Because I don't want no current Jeff Jarrett. I don't care about current Jeff Jarrett. I don't care about, 2000 Jeff Jarrett. But you know what? It's a part of wrestling history. He was WCW champion a lot in 2000. He had the Slapnuts shirt and all that. And I think Jeff Jarrett owns the rights to all of his stuff. Like his gear and all that stuff. So, except for the stuff that was made by WWF. I think he owns his WCW stuff, I think. I don't know. But I want to see Jeff Jarrett from 2000. In his gear. That way, when I go to my wrestling figure show, I can eventually get to using Jeff Jarrett. Also predictive overtime for WWE, we're finally going to get 2000 and 2001 Booker T. Finally going to get 2000 and 2001 Booker T this year. Whether it's in the Monday Night War line, whether it's an Ultimate Edition, whether it's a freaking regular Elite Edition, we're getting 2000 and 2001 Booker T this year. What else for Jazzwares? I predict we're going to get another Sting figure. Maybe another Sting Legacy pack. I don't know. But I predict we're getting another Sting figure. Classic Surfer Sting figure from AEW Jazzwares. Because the other one sold so well. I even want to buy the other one, but I couldn't find it. And plus, they did advertise that one in the orange. So maybe the orange one will come out this year. Either way, we're going to get a new freaking, we're going to get a new freaking, a new freaking Sting Surfer from AEW Jazzwares. Yeah, that's it for recipe. Let's go to NECA. I think, I'm predicting this year that NECA's going to say, look, we've done milked this 87 Ninja Turtles train long enough. We're doing the 2012 figures. I think NECA also jumps into 2003. Because let me tell you something right now. Those frickin' Super 7 2003 Ninja Turtles suck. They suck. They're lame. They don't even look the right build for the frickin' characters from the cartoon. I watched the cartoon. I was an adult then. But I watch it with my kids. And the build is not good on them. Or nothing like that. Super 7 botched the Turtles line again. And Super 7 should not be doing any kind of turtle stuff. All their turtle stuff sucks. I mean, heck, the frickin' Ninja Turtles from the cartoon, the 87 cartoon, they came out with the same frickin' turtles that Playmates came out with years ago. I know it's accurate to the old Playmates one. Only difference was they were bigger versions of them. So, Super 7 sucks. I think Super 7's done anyway. I think they're going out of business this year. They suck. They're terrible. I like their Silverhawk figures. They're pretty nice. The Thundercats figures are pretty nice. But the price you pay for that crap is unreal. And that's why I will not buy the 2003 Ninja Turtles from frickin' Super 7. Because they suck. They don't look like the frickin' way that... I mean, in the face they do, but the frickin' build is terrible. And everything for the 2003 Ninja Turtles. You know, I want NECA to do it. I wouldn't even care if McFarlane did it. But, gee whiz, no more Super 7 Ninja Turtle figures from 2003. Because those frickin' ones suck. Let's see. Here's a big prediction. A bold prediction. But I am going... And this is going into video games. I'll get back to toys in a minute. I'm predicting that GTA 6 will not sell as well when it first comes out the way 5 did, the way 4 did, and the way the other freaking GTA games did when they came out. Reasons why? First reason. If the price turns out to be true that everybody's rumoring to be it being $80 to $100, people are not going to pay for that. They're going to wait till it goes on sale. Then they'll buy the damn game. Next up. People are going to be like, well, you know what? This game's probably going to last about, 10 plus years just like GTA 5 did. If the game actually comes out this year. Which I'll talk about that when it gets closer to frickin' June and all that. But they're going to be like, oh, yeah. Yeah, this game's going to be 10 years plus, so I'm not in no rush to get it. This game's going to be around for 10 years plus. It's going to go from one console generation to another console generation to another console generation. So let's not forget, the original frickin' GTA 5 started on PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, then it got jumped up to frickin' Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Then it got jumped up to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series. Like, wow. They really milked this damn game for every little bit they could. A lot of it has to do with the frickin' people buying the damn shark cards and all that stuff instead of actually working hard to get the money, which is what I had to do to get where I'm at on that frickin' game, buying the mansion and all that stuff. But, boy. People's going to be like, yeah, this game's going to be 10 years plus. No rush to get it. But, and that's because people were burned with, another reason why is people's going to be worried about the storyline. How good is the storyline going to be for GTA 6? Because GTA 5 storyline, when it first came out, I kind of liked it. But then when I realized it didn't answer nothing. It didn't answer why Michael decided to turn on Brad and Trevor. Well, they said, well, he was trying to get out of the game or whatever. But there had to have been more to it than just that. Come on now. They never frickin' explained how frickin' Michael met Dave. Or any of that. And the storyline was mediocre. They shoehorned in Devin Weston as the main villain at the end of the freaking game. When I would have rather had Martin Madrasmo as the main villain or some crap like that. Or Michael finally gets his comeuppance for betraying everybody. Or, Trevor's so insane that he gets killed or something. But not only that, not only did you have to take down Devin Weston, then you had to go kill Steve Haynes, Stretch, which Stretch deserved it. Chong. You had to take on Merriweather. And then you had the frickin' then you had Devin Weston. I don't know. It was just terrible. I think they need to stop giving the option on which option you should go with to beat the game with. Give us a direct ending. Because first of all, people's not going to know which ending's canon or not. People aren't going to know which ending's canon. In GTA, well, I guess you could say they know what ending's canon because of the online version of it. But, we're not going to know the true canon ending to GTA 5 until 6 comes out. Same with 4. We didn't know the true canon ending until frickin' 5 came out. Which 5 only came out 5 years after 4. Not frickin' 13 years. Came out 5 years after 4. Not 13 years. Boy. That game came out 3 years after Mattel got the freaking rights to WWE figures. Unbelievable. But I'm predicting that game is not going to sell as well as they think it is at the beginning. It might start selling into early next year. It might sell in more toward the end of next year. All that. But it's not going to sell when it comes out. If it still comes out this November. That's my prediction on that. That's probably one of the boldest predictions I'm going to have. Alright. Now let's get back to toys. So, I was going to predict, but, since I can't predict it now because they done freaking announced the things I was going to predict, I was going to predict we were finally going to get Bane from Batman and Robin. I was going to predict we were finally going to get a Jack Nicholson Joker. Now, yeah, it's a Jack Nicholson inspired, but that thing looks so much like Jack Nicholson, I don't think a lot of people's going to even know the difference if it's a likeness, if it's a real likeness to him or not. It's a lot better than the freaking Kenner Joker they came out with years ago that looked nothing like Jack Nicholson. But, people's not going to care. Looks like Jack Nicholson. It's built like Jack Nicholson. They're going to call it Jack Nicholson Joker. Or Jack Nicholson Inspired. I also think that McFarlane is going to continue doing a lot of Mortal Kombat figures. And not only is he going to continue doing a lot of Mortal Kombat figures, he's going to improve with each Mortal Kombat classic figure he does. I've seen reviews of all the stuff that's come out already, like the like Wave 1, Wave 2, the 2-packs and all that. I think he's going to improve on doing the Mortal Kombat classic figures. As long as we get Shao Kahn, Kitaro, Quan Chi, Johnny Cage, the characters we didn't get from Storm, at a better price, I'd rather pay $30 than close to $100 freaking dollars for a freaking Storm figure. Or over $100 for a Storm figure, I don't know. But I think he's going to improve on that, and he's going to make things a little bit better. So, I think he's going to improve on the Mortal Kombat Classic figures. And do a good job with them. Also gotta predict, especially if the next freaking Wildcats figure sells well, but I don't know, because them things are $60. What are they called? The freaking artist tribute or whatever ones? Like, they had the Spawn, and that was like $60. I'm like, what? I was thinking about buying that Spawn and giving this other Spawn to my son. I'm like, I'll keep that Spawn there. Because that Spawn, that $60 looks like the Spawn I grew up as a kid reading the comics about and watching the cartoon and watching the movie. Well, that one, yeah, it's got the feet are different from, but, um, but I think if that Wildcats figure sells well, maybe they'll make more Wildcat figures. I'd love to see the Wildcat figures remade. I'd love to see Hellspawn and all the other Wildcat figures be remade. I'd even go track down Grifter and buy it finally, if they decided to make more of the freaking Wildcat figures. Because I like that cartoon. Also, I'm predicting that McFarlane is going to get the turtle line that Playmates just gave up. So, yeah. I think McFarlane's going to, because I think, what was it, a few weeks ago somebody revealed that Playmates is no longer going to make Turtles figures and they're going to get rid of the Turtles. So much for my dream of having Power Ranger versus Turtles. Oh, the new Power Ranger figures suck right now. Hopefully they make better Power Ranger figures. Like this year and that. But golly, the newer ones they got out right now, those Reignite ones. It's like terrible. And I've only seen the head flipping ones. Haven't seen any of the normal basic ones. But they look terrible. They need to make them better. Seriously, make them better. For Christ's sakes, make them better. Let's see. So yeah, McFarlane, that's all I want to talk about with McFarlane. Because, everything I was going to predict for McFarlane has already been announced. Jack Nicholson Joker. Bane from the Batman and Robin movies finally been announced. We're getting a new Val Kilmer with the regular Batman suit from the beginning of Forever. We're getting George Clooney. And, well, we're probably going to get George Clooney and Batgirl and Robin with their thermo suits from the end of Batman and Robin. So, I don't know. Did they ever make a Ra's al Ghul from freaking Batman Begins? I don't think so. Maybe he makes it. I'll predict he'll make a Ra's al Ghul. I don't know. Ra's al Ghul for Batman movie line. Let's see. Speaking of Batman, I got all my Batman Returns figure. I got Penguin, I got Catwoman, I got Batman. I also got Batman from the first Batman movie. And I got all the Batman Forever figures that's out right now. But I can't find Max Schreck. Crazy. Max Schreck was the one that everybody thought wasn't going to sell well. And the damn one is the hardest one to find. But at least I got Batman, Catwoman, and Penguin. Yeah. So, maybe they'll re-release Max Schreck. I don't know. They re-released the Christopher Reeve Superman. But I don't know. Once I find those, I will probably freaking review all 4 of them. But I do have Batman, Catwoman, and Penguin. So I'm happy that I got those 3 at least. Had to go to Comic Games to get them, but hey, got them. I'm waiting for the freaking one Penguin thing. If I can find a sell on it eventually, I'll freaking buy it then. The one with the big penguin duck, the penguin mobile and that, I'll find that one, I'll try to find that on a deal down the road. Yeah, I guess I'll predict a Ra's al Ghul from McFarlane's DC line. Why not? Anyway, I wonder, can he still do the Batman animated series stuff? He does own the rights to whatchamajigger, right? To the place that was making them. I don't know, maybe he can. Anyway, let's move on to NECA. NECA is also finally going to see the light. They're going to go back to their movie line figures. We're going to get a Predator figure. Like Dutch's Team. We're going to get... we're finally going to get Mike Harrigan. Finally going to get Danny Glover as Mike Harrigan. Then we're going to get some other action movie figures from NECA again this year. They've leaned too much into horror. They've leaned into Sesame Street. They've leaned into frickin' the Turtles line and all that stuff. Let's get back to action movie hero figures. Come on. Been a long time since they've done action movie hero figures, honestly. We haven't gotten any new Dutch figures. We haven't gotten Arnold Schwarzenegger from Commando or Conan or something like that. Or Last Action Hero. We haven't gotten a Mike Harrigan, a Danny Glover Mike Harrigan yet. We need to get those. Come on, get that. NECA, I'm predicting you guys get them, so I hope you get them. I think with horror, we're going to get more Halloween figures, and we're going to get more Nightmare on Elm Street figures. And we're going to get more Friday the 13th this year. When's that Savini Jason coming out? They have not revealed that Savini Jason since they announced it a while back. When's that coming out? I don't know. That was one of the coolest things about the frickin' Friday the 13th game. Even though he was frickin' OP on the game. Yeah, but anyway. Let's see. Alright. I got into a few TV shows on it because this video is like 50-something minutes. This is as long as a frickin' live stream. Well, I said on the video Friday that this video was going to be pretty long. Maybe that's why I said maybe I should do this live stream. But anyway, I'm predicting that X-Men 97 Season 2 first of all is going to come out in June. Because that's what Disney's going to do. They're going to make us wait till fucking June because we got the stupid Wonder Man Season 2 of frickin' Daredevil Born. But I heard Daredevil Born Again was so frickin' lame. Why is it even getting a Season 2? I don't know. I think Further Than Ever Heard Spider-Man will probably come out in August. Or July. But yeah. X-Men 97 Season 2. I think will be in June. And I think they are going to have the Apocalypse storyline go for 2 seasons. Especially if it's going to be Age of Apocalypse, they're going to have it go for 2 seasons. And the final season, which will be the 4th season, if it gets a 4th season, will be Onslaught. And they will tease Onslaught at the end of the Apocalypse. Now, if they're only going to do 1 arc, I still think they'll tease Onslaught for Season 3. We'll see. What else? Also predicting we are going to get some GTA figures from somebody this year. We're going to get a GTA figure from somebody this year. I also had another prediction, but I just forgot it again, and I just had it in my head, and I forget it. Oh well. I think we're finally going to find out about those freaking other Sons of Anarchy shows that are supposed to take place after Mayans and the original run of Sons of Anarchy. Well, one's going to take place before the events of the original Sons of Anarchy. One's supposed to take place after. I think we're going to hear about those sometime this year. Anyway, yeah, I had another prediction. I can't think of it. Oh, well. This video's been long enough. Probably going to take forever to upload. Anyway, that'll do it. I'll have an action movie video this Wednesday and then Friday to play through a Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection Arcade 2. So, yeah. Yeah, if I think of anything else, I'll freaking talk about it in another video or something. But that'll do it. Please like this video, leave a comment, subscribe for more. Follow my Facebook fan page, Mr. Hornsby 83 Show. Follow my Facebook business page, Trigen Toys. I'm going to try to get a website up this year. I just got to look at the regulations and that and the rules that I'll have to have for that. But anyway, that'll do it. This video is pretty long for a standard video of mine. Catch you guys later. And you know what? Instead of saying peace out, I'm going to say catch you guys later. And yay, yay! Go check out my King of Rap video too, that the live stream I did Friday. Catch you guys later.